first step to making chainmail is to make a bunch of coils of wire. And so first what you want to do is get a length of wire. Really you just kind of have to experiment to see how long of wire you want to use. So then what you want to do, if you have a rod with a hole in it, which I would suggest finding, is take the pliers and just wrap it around, and that way it can't come out. Then basically what you want to do is just hold the wire down and run the drill probably slowly to start until you get the hang of it. And the goal is to wrap the wire as close together as possible so that you get, at the end, you want something that looks kind of like a spring. And so you can see there's still some gaps in the start and the end here because when you start out you can't really get it perfect, but in the middle here you can see it's just a long stretch of close together, and so that just makes it a lot easier when you're making the rings. So the next step is just to make lots and lots of these coils. What you're going to do is with each of these coils you're going to want to cut it down the middle. Well, it doesn't have to be the middle, but you want to cut it the same spot in each place so that you get a full ring each time you cut it. So just give a little closer view of cutting the ring. It's pretty simple. So I know it's hard to see, but it's really important to close the rings properly. In this position, one of the pliers will go up, one will go down. So you go like that, and you twist it open. And so then you have an opening in the ring, but it retains the shape, the circle. So what you want to start with is one open ring and 4 closed rings. And the reason that it's called European 4-in-1 is because, well, it's from Europe, obviously. And the 4-in-1 means that every ring goes through 4 others. So put the 4 rings on the open one. A lot of people go 1 ring at a time, or they make a row of these and then start making a row down connecting. But what I like to do actually, which I don't see a lot of people do, but for me it's the easiest, is I make a bunch of rows completed and then I connect them all together. You start out with your 1 ring with 4 through it, and then basically you just keep going. Once I have this 1 ring connected, then I put 2 through that one, and then I put 1 and then 2, and so basically you get a chain. This method compared to other methods is a little different. It probably requires a little more concentration and more accuracy, but the payoff is all you have to do is make a bunch of these chains, and it just takes a few rings to connect them together. So I like this method, and honestly I've never seen it anywhere else, but that doesn't mean no one else does it. So what you want to do is you take an open ring, and it requires a little bit of intuitiveness, and like with all steps of chainmail, of making chainmail, it just also requires doing it a lot to get a hang of it. But what you want to do is you want to line these up, make sure they're facing the same direction, and then what you want to do is you want to look at the rings, and you can kind of see that there are rows and they go the opposite direction every other row. So basically you just see which rings it goes on the top of and which it goes on the bottom of, and then you take the open ring and you go through the 2 on the left and then the 2 on the right, and like you do with all the rest, just close the ring and then lay it back out, and as you can see right here where there used to be no connection, now there's a full row, and basically you just have to complete the pattern for each one. So it is a little tedious, it takes some practice to get the hang of knowing which rings to go through, But once you got the hang of it, it's really easy. You just make a few rows, and then all you have to do is just connect it like this row. I only have to make about half a dozen connections or so. So this is the finished product. It's just a rectangle about 6 by 8 inches. And as you can see, chainmail is very flexible. At least this style of chainmail is very flexible. I can't exactly recommend doing this next part, but if you do, make sure you wear safety glasses. So you can see I still have a fully intact piece of chainmail, despite the abuse it received. It's a little battered, but none of the rings have come loose. And what you would want to do if you want to make it even stronger is to rivet or weld it so that the links can't come apart at all.